So, here's what we have here. Well, we've got some Nimbus heads. You know, for your custom Nimbus project. You know what a Nimbus is, right? You're not a real motorcyclist if you don't know what a Nimbus is. And it's not a Harry Potter, you know, flying broomstick. Although it's pretty close. So, anyway. So I got new cylinders going here. So we've got new upper. Now, some things that I changed since the old one, such huge ports, my only option was to run the hold down bolts all the way through to the head, which is such an inconvenience when I just want to pull the head. If I need an inspection, if I just want to pull the head off, I have to pull the whole assembly off. So, since we're going to smaller ports, smaller ports, right? You see the massive difference in the port size? Well, low velocity, big power, low velocity, no records. High velocity, less power, but let's see what we'll do. Anyway, so I brought all of the bolt pattern in, so I'm able to, and you can't see that because this side isn't finished, I'm able to do cylinder bolts to hold it to the case and head totally separate. I think it's a good plan. Maybe not. We'll find out. Anyway, so the top end is done. The other thing that I did on the last one is coolant passage. Coolant comes up through there, in here, around between the liners and the aluminum cylinder, out, down into this gallery, up and around the exhaust ports, and then back up through this tube. So all of these tubes are all water passages. They're all O-ringed, have little teeny, like 1 millimeter O-rings buried clear down in it. If I don't get it exactly right, I get a leak and I have to tear the whole thing apart, which is a massive pain in the ass. So here's what I'm doing. And I've been out on the salt and had a coolant leak and it shut me down for a day because I had to rebuild it. So here's what I'm doing. And I know I'm giving up power. I don't care. I'm going simple cooling system. Absolutely simple. 2 O-rings. And all I'm going to do is, we got an O-ring here. Hold on, let me grab a sleeve. So we have an O-ring at the top that seals around here, an O-ring at the bottom that seals around here, so we get the coolant around the upper portion of the sleeve, and that's it. And then it's going back up and over the combustion chamber and back to the heat exchanger. I'm hoping I'm not going to cool the exhaust ports. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going simple. I'm going simple. So anyway, so we got the bottom done. You can see the difference in this tang height. And the reason I did that is because the Wiseco pistons have a taller deck height. So I had to raise the whole assembly anyway. Then we're using longer rods. You remember, right? Longer rods, longer deck height. But I don't want to be totally committed. So I thought, well, at one point, well, maybe what I'll do is I'll just make a spacer. And then I thought, no, we're going back to making complicated again. Let's stick with, and so what I did is I added 10 millimeters to the bottom, so I can always get rid of that 10 millimeters if I want to. So I didn't change the total height of the sleeve, so the sleeves will all be consistent. I'm not trying to make sleeves for this and sleeves for that. I'm doing it all the same. Bad plan? I don't know. We'll find out. We got all sorts of bad plans. But, so we've got this wrapped up, top portion of the exhaust port, bottom portion of the exhaust port. This thing will go together like so. I have very precision end mill dowel pins going on here, so bear with my cut fingers as I try to get these together. Go together! God! Okay, so like a pro, you know, I may not go fast, but I can machine shit good. Look at that. So, once again, smaller exhaust, smaller every port. We decreased everything. But it looks pretty damn good. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Of course, the upper transfers. We got 25 degrees and 15 degree roof angles, a nice enough hook. I thought of laying this out further so that rear transfer just goes up and the front one pushes it over. And I rethought that, and I may regret this, but I can always go back and take material out. So no harm, no foul. But I have a game plan that I will see. Anyway, I think we covered all the bases, right? I've got to finish the top half of this. That's the, of course, the mating piece. Got sleeve material coming. Get those done. I've got all cranks, rods, everything ready to go. The case I've got to wrap up. It's all together, but I've got to just finish machining the top side of that and resetting the new bolt pattern, and then putting that all together. I'm thinking 3 weeks till we're on the dyno. 3 weeks. I always overestimate, but whatever. You get it. That's it. I think that's it.